going on, man? It is your boy, baby, JOECARROLLFITT, and I'm back at it again with another one, all right? Today, we're checking out the top 10 most disturbing human experiments off of the SidemenReacts channel, man. If you guys are not hip on it, you gotta get hip, bro. I'm telling you. Literally the best content ever to just allow it to stack up and then kind of just walk through it all, you know what I mean? So either way you're studying or you're doing whatever, it's always a vibe. Let's get into the video, man. Don't forget, we live every day, man, over here at twitch.tv/JOECARROLLFITT. Situation every time. Let's get.
Hello and welcome yourself back to SidemenReacts with myself, Ethan, and Simon. We're going down a weird route today. We're learning about the top 10 most disturbing human experiments performed in the US. Viewer discretion.
Oh God, formed in the US?
We have no idea what we're getting ourselves into.
Oh God.
Let's run it.
It's on Watch Mojo,
smart,
so it can't be, you know, can't be too bad. It's on Watch Mojo.
I mean, let's see. Let's get it.
It's gonna be bad, isn't it?
That's wrong. 240 volts.
Oh.
These horrible acts were committed
That was a
in the
TV
name
show.
of science.
I was like, what?
And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 terrible
More Reacts videos? Yes, ma'am.
Ow, I've been electrocuted.
Known as the
Ow.
Moscow show
You reckon
trials,
Captain America's in
these
this?
court cases give the
This
world
one was
its
recommended by
first
Jack.
examples
Really?
of mind control.
For this list, we're looking at examples of human experimentation executed in the US that were harmful to their test subjects.
It was important. They were supposedly untreated, and it would be undesirable to go ahead and use large amounts of penicillin to treat the disease because you'd interfere with the study.
Please note that some of these stories could not be proven
What?
as 100%
I did not have sexual
factually
relations
accurate,
with
and
that woman.
as such, may only be commonly repeated rumors. However, we've done our best to get the most accurate information possible.
An overwhelming number who say they were intentionally exposed to mustard gas in secret experiments have been denied benefits for decades.
Number 10,
Oh, this is gonna make me
Project
upset.
MKUltra. Officially sanctioned in 1953 and backed by the CIA, this series
What?
of experiments studied the effect of mind control with methods like hypnosis, drugs, isolation, and sensory deprivation
this is tapped.
used
This
to
is very
modify
tapped.
human behavior.
This is what they did. They did
What?
chemicals, they did biologicals, they did disguises, they did electronic.
Holy shit. I didn't even know about this one. I think I've heard of MKUltra before, but I think I only heard of it in like a movie form. You know what I mean? I don't know. Wave, you seem like Ethan's moved for good. I don't know, bro. I don't know why, but that still seems like his girl's crib. Like that's why he's always like touching shit on the little windowsill and shit. It doesn't look like his stuff, you know?
Electronic, secret writing, and the like.
The CIA enlisted the help of prisons, hospitals, and more than 40 universities to perform experiments.
Yeah, Blondie.
on
I think you're the one who
subjects
showed me
without
her.
their knowledge.
It does
In
make you
one
wonder
of
what's
these
still going on.
sub-projects, Operation Midnight Climax, prostitutes who were secretly working for the CIA gave clients LSD. And while these men were under the influence, they were spied on through a one-way mirror. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of all records related to MKUltra. But subsequent investigations led by Senator Frank Church and Vice President Nelson Rockefeller, in addition to 20,000 records recovered in 1977, were able to shed light on these activities.
So bad.
Holy
The
shit.
Stanford Prison Experiment. Designed by psychologist Philip Zimbardo, the goal of this 1971 experiment was to examine the psychological impact of imprisonment. For the experiment, the psychology building at Stanford University was turned into a prison.
I think I heard about this one.
24 undergraduate students divided into
What?
two groups,
I've never heard of
prisoners
this one.
and guards.
I don't look on it as an
So
experiment or a simulation.
it was all, they're all students, but the ones who turned into guards ended up acting like guards. and
Guards?
taking, like getting a power trip almost. I think. It's,
Oh,
Really?
I saw this
yeah,
one.
so it's like obviously
shit.
that's like going like, all right, some of the side.
I saw that. There was like a whole like 45-minute, I think, documentary. Like I'm pretty sure I went into like a YouTube rabbit hole one night and I saw this documentary.
Men are guards, some of you are prisoners, and then
Yeah.
the sidemen.
Did you
were
see
guards.
KSI in the prison?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's this one anyway.
A prison by psychologists instead of run by the state.
They took their commitment to their roles to disturbing levels, with the guards doling out abuse and the prisoners
no.
accepting it.
Yeah.
Things got so intense that some students had to be removed due to the trauma, although the exercise was supposed
Holy
to last
shit.
2 weeks and had the interest of the U.S. Marine Corps and Navy. It was shut
That's
down
mental.
after just 6 days, when the repercussions of the experiment became clear. Number
Whoa.
8, the Milgram Experiment. Fascinated by what motivated Nazi officers to
Yeah,
commit
Wavy, we
atrocities
watched
during
that video
World War
earlier.
II, Yale psychologist Stanley Milgram set up an experiment to see just how far Americans would go before their conscience stopped them.
The answer is what?
Why do we need to know?
Right. It's hard to understand exactly why. Part of it is the absurdity of the situation.
Whoa! I saw one. There was one little, like, I guess you would say documentary that was like test that I watched. That was, they had a bunch of different people, kind of like basically how they did that same guards versus prisoner role, except they had like two people pretend they were interrogating someone else, you know, and then they had one person who had to like basically fake it. What do you call it? He was like the prisoner, I guess you would say, and he had to like somehow come up with an actual story or like prove that he was innocent. And it got to the point where the guy that had to prove his innocent ended up like believing the fake story. Like the guy ended up like breaking down and like crying and shit. And he ended up thinking that, not he ended up thinking, but he ended up believing that he was guilty of something, like legitimately, like they did like lie detector tests and stuff. Like he legitimately believed that he was like guilty of something that he had never actually did. Like it was so fucked.
The nervousness that they're feeling.
In the 1960s experiment, a teacher would read questions to a learner, who was actually an actor pretending to participate in the study. When the learner got an answer wrong, the teacher gave what he believed to be a real electric shock, progressing in 15-volt increments up to 450 volts.
Did it sound as if he was in pain?
Yeah.
If the teachers objected, they were forced to administer it regardless. After being assured that they would be free of all responsibility, the teacher typically complied, even when the learner screamed in agony.
That's wrong. 225 volts.
Two-thirds of the subjects went all the way to 450 volts, proving how much we're ingrained
that's
to
screen
obey
one,
authority,
exactly. You
even
know.
if we believe it to be morally or.
So it's like the guy believed that shocking him was almost making it like he actually believed that shocking the guy was gonna make him learn it better. So in turn, he ended up actually being okay with shocking him more and more because in his brain he thought that he was actually teaching the guy. Like he thought that he was helping him, not hurting him, even though it was actually hurting him. Bro, what? Oh, people are sick.
Legally unjustified.
It'll be all right. Yeah.
Please continue.
Number 7, Dr. Leo Stanley's San Quentin prison experiments. As
people
chief
are fucked.
surgeon at San Quentin,
people are
Dr.
fucked,
Leo
bro.
Stanley
Like, very
used
fucked.
prisoners for various experiments from 1913 to 1951, with
What?
some verging into dark territory. These experiments included sterilization and possibly finding treatments for Spanish flu. A strong supporter of eugenics, Stanley performed vasectomies on inmates who were sold on the idea of better health, reformed behavior, and a stronger sex drive. In one project that aimed to find a source of rejuvenation, Stanley used live prisoners for surgery that transplanted testicles.
What?
Or otherwise.
Oh no! Imagine what? Imagine walking around with another nigga's nuts. What? Oh hell no. Oh ew.
The experiment began with testicles sourced from executed prisoners, but when the supply ran dry, Dr. Stanley began using boar and goat testes in his work. Number 6, the Boston Project.
What the fuck do you even learn doing that? Like, what do you actually learn by putting a pig's nuts on a human? Or like a boar's nut? Like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Oh my god, there's like little experiments and stuff, like rich people who can like fund these little experiments or whatever. And then like, you know, like, there's like a website that you can go on and like sign up for these experiments and shit, you know? So this is wild, bro. This is wild. I guess it's almost even more wild because there's people who like agreed to it, but there's no way they like explained it like that. Like they were like, okay, hey, we're just gonna chop off somebody else's nuts and put them on you. They had to explain it in like a very, very scientific way. Like, oh, we're gonna actually make you healthier or some shit. I don't know how. Chad, are y'all falling for this? Would y'all be? I think it's just for fun. This shit probably still happens. You thinking about like taking? Would you guys exchange nuts with your best friend? Like, imagine if the homie was like, "Hey, I've been thinking about getting a nut transplant." You know? And then you were like, hey, bro, I give you my nuts. That was such a bad sentence. That was.
Why?
Oh, it's getting worse.
Humans are tapped.
We're only at number
Humans are
6.
so
We're at number 6.
so tapped.
This is gonna get messed up.
Humans are tapped.
You would get a goat's. Oh, whoa.
Disgusting.
Working with the Oak Ridge National Laboratory from 1953 to 57, Dr. William Sweet, who was the chief neurosurgeon at Harvard's Massachusetts General Hospital, gave uranium injections to 11 cancer patients who were terminally ill, with all but one reportedly suffering from brain tumors. Dr. Sweet was interested in learning how the distribution of uranium affected the body and whether it could be used to treat tumors. In 1995,
it
under
killed them.
testimony,
Uranium, like, it's radioactive. It causes cancer.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Maybe unless he was praying it would have reverse effects. Maybe I don't know.
How would you?
Process was.
His thought was like, you know how when you go out drinking the next morning, you should.
I know this is so much more disturbing because we don't know the actual science behind it. Like, I wonder what I would love to hear like what the actual like how they got these people. Like, what did they say that was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, like I would love to watch like a compilation of like the top 10 best lies or whatever that people fell for or something like that. I feel like that would be so badass.
Yeah. If you've got
from radioactivity.
if you've got cancer, put more cancer in.
Yeah, you know, they can fight. Yeah, you know. I mean, I'm not saying it works, obviously.
It definitely doesn't.
Obviously
it killed them all.
It's on disturbing human experiments.
True. Yeah.
he had consent from all his patients for his experiments. However, a lack of supporting documents, as well as the case of one patient who was found unconscious and later died without regaining consciousness or being identified, makes those claims slightly dubious. Number 5. The Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment.
Oh,
From
this was
1932
crazy,
to
chat.
1972, 600 African-American farmers from Alabama were selected for a U.S. Public Health Services program, receiving free health care and other benefits for their cooperation. However, they weren't told they were actually being studied. 399 of the men had syphilis, while the other 201 were used as a control group. Many of these subjects, poor and often illiterate sharecroppers, didn't even know they had the disease. Even after penicillin was developed as a cure for syphilis in 1947,
Yeah, they didn't sign up and they didn't heal them.
From the patients.
They didn't heal them because they wanted to see what would happen.
Information or treatment. Many ultimately
just not
died
fair.
of syphilis, with at least 40 women contracting it from their husbands, and
just not
nearly
fair.
20 children born with it.
That
As
is
a result
nuts.
of an information leak, the project was shut down in 1972.
It's so fucked up,
You know,
bro.
there's like the theory that like HIV and all that. Like apparently, like there's conspiracies that it was planted, wasn't it? Like it was planted in these countries to spread and stuff like that. It's all tapped.
Yeah.
It's all so many conspiracies, but yeah, very tapped. Not a fan.
It wasn't until 1997 that President Bill Clinton formally apologized on behalf of the government for what happened.
The 8 men who are survivors of the syphilis study at Tuskegee are a living link to a time not so very long ago that many Americans would prefer not to remember.
Number 4.
It's almost like they almost try to like twist this and make it seem like you were this like pillar of society. Like they tried to make it look like it was like an honor to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Listen, ass man, stop it. That's not what I meant at all.
Right.
University of California experiments on newborns. Leading up to a study published in the Medical Journal of Pediatrics, 113 newborn babies, no older than 3 days old, were experimented on by scientists at the University of California's Department of Pediatrics in the early 1960s. Studies conducted on the babies included a battery of bizarre and seemingly unnecessary experiments regarding blood flow and pressure. In one test, over 40 babies were placed on circumcision boards and held upside down, while doctors measured how their blood flowed to their head. In another, babies were placed ankle deep in ice-cold water, while a catheter was inserted into their aorta in an effort to monitor their aortic pressure.
What's happening?
Number 3,
Yeah.
Dr. Bender.
This is nuts. This is nuts. This is so nuts.
It'll almost, but I kind of understand because you got to do certain things to like there's reasons why we know what we know today, You know what I mean? And it's because of the like harsh experiments. They didn't have to go about it the way they went about it, but like there's reason why like scientists know all of the info that we know today. Like it's because they were literally like dissecting people, like taking like people apart and like doing shit. Like they even had where back in the day, like they didn't use like crash test dummies and shit. They used like real people and put them in the cars and like crash them into walls and shit to see what would happen to their bodies. But it was like they used prisoners or whatever, not like actual like citizens and shit.
Forces electroconvulsive therapy on children. While working as a neuropsychiatrist at New York's Bellevue Hospital, Dr. Loretta Bender decided an effective treatment for children with developmental disorders or schizophrenia was electroconvulsive therapy, or ECT, previously called electroshock therapy. In 1947, Dr. Bender sent small electric currents through the brains of 98 children, all of whom were 12 or under, and one of whom was 3. Another of Dr. Bender's methods for trying to alleviate schizophrenia was to give her young patients LSD. Ted Chabasinski was one of the children who went through the therapy.
It's like all these doctors, all they did was watch movies, and they're like, holy shit, maybe if we just shock them, we can like shock it back. But I think it's something with like the brain, right? The brain, like it already does its own like controlled like little shocks and pulses and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So it's kind of not really like that like off to think that if you added like some shocks or something that you could almost like reverse or change what happened, you know? Like it's all I can almost see that the brain has electric signals. So like if you introduce your own electric signals, is it bad to think that it might do something else? You know what I mean? I could almost think of how that would have been effective, but then again, it's just sick and wrong that they did it to like little kids. But that's when your brain is most malleable. Like that's when you can actually change stuff. You know what I think? You know what I mean? That's what Neuralink is about. Yeah, I think that is.
When he was 6 years old, and he later became a human rights activist who successfully fought against the use of electroshock therapy in Berkeley, California.
The best thing we can do is go on with our daily routine. All right?
On her ass.
Jeez.
Number 2, military experiments with mustard gas during World War II.
What is number 1?
In 1943, the Navy recruited upwards of 60,000 young men for a study.
Yeah, but this is bullshit. This is bullshit. They're not going to tell you, and they didn't even use the right picture in this. This study was actually done on all black people.
They weren't asked to participate. They were told. Only when they arrived at the Naval Research Laboratory in Washington, D.C., did they find the real purpose of the study, to measure the effects of mustard gas and other chemicals on humans.
The crazy part is like in the military, like they're so trained to just like listen to their orders and do what they're told to do.
Yeah.
Like they probably don't even question something like that, and it's so messed up. Like they'll be like,
the thing is like you obey orders, don't you? That's it. It's just bang, I'm following leader's orders, bang, go. Mental.
They rubbed chemical on my arm and hands and had me breathe the gas without a mask on. I had no protective clothing in the gas chamber.
Locked in chambers and exposed to the deadly gas, the men involved in these experiments suffered horrible health effects, including internal and external burns.
Fuck, man.
As a wartime experiment, they were bound by oaths of secrecy and faced dishonorable discharge or imprisonment if they spoke of the order, the details of which were not formally declassified until 1993. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Okay, this is a bit weird.
Honorable.
Let's have some honorable mentions. Dishonorable mentions.
What do you mean honorable mentions? What is... See, this is what I'm saying, bro. Why do they do this shit?
See, but what's even more crazy, bro, is they literally just did another experiment where they're like releasing like mechanical mosquitoes or whatever to somehow control the population of mosquitoes. At least that's what they're saying. They said they only released them, like I forgot how many they did. It's like a fuckload of them. They released like a fuckload of like these like little tiny mechanical fucking thing, bro. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Where's the TGF vids? The fuck are you talking about, Drop? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Add some context to your question here, bro. It's on the MoreJoeNoJoseph channel. Some are on the main channel. They're everywhere. Explain what the fuck you're talking about.
Number 1. Vanderbilt University's vitamin drinks. Following World War II, researchers at Vanderbilt University gave over 800 pregnant women a mysterious concoction they were told was a special vitamin drink.
Oh, God.
Mixtures that contain doses of radioactive iron, as the scientists were testing its absorption rate during pregnancy. The radiation these women were exposed to was reportedly 30 times higher than normal. Around 3 or 4 children died of cancer or leukemia as a result of the experiment. And some mothers developed rashes, lost hair and teeth, and contracted various types of cancer themselves. In 1994, almost 40 years later, Vanderbilt University faced a lawsuit for the 4-year study and was forced to pay out more than $10 million in damages. Do you agree with our list?
Not bad. Not too bad. I mean, we ran him pretty ragged.
Which American experiment horrified you the most?
What?
Yeah, I get a little skittish, nervous.
For more historical top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to
Right, this is why I got trust issues. This is why I got trust issues.
Well,
bro, that's so crazy. I just don't even understand it. I don't even understand it. Yeah, we'll definitely be checking out some more TGF videos. If you want any specific ones, make sure you throw it up in the queue. And big up yourself, road to 50K. Hey, thanks so much, man. We're on our way. We're on our way, baby. We'll get there soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
No, hopefully. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Listen, if anyone tries locking me in a room at an airport or whatever, just know I'm breaking out however I can. I'm causing a scene.
An airport.
Like, not me. You're not putting any uranium in my anus or anything, bro. I'm good. I'm out.
That's in an airport.
Peace.
That's just like we need to
I
check
don't know
you
why.
out.
I don't know, because that's what I feel like they might catch you in a country. You've flown to Mexico, for example. All of a sudden, this bloke comes up to you and says, "Come with me." Now you're in the back of a black van and he's rubbing uranium all over you. Great.
You know what? I guess all of this stuff is one upside to the world being so connected and everything being filmed and on social media and people being connected. Because back then, stuff like this could happen. People could just disappear.
Yeah, I have. We watched it earlier. I don't know if they deleted it or took something off. I don't know what happened.
That video's made me.
I was gonna say, you hope. You hope.
Yeah.
The video's made me uncomfortable, you know. I'm very uncomfortable.
Same.
I don't like it. All right. Well, goodbye, everyone.
There are some messed up humans out there. Stay safe. We'll see you all next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Come from, but then again, it sucks even more, man, because just imagine what's going on now, what's still going on to this day. You know, it's man. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for checking that out with me, man. You guys have any weird experience or experiments? I said experiments or anything like that you heard about that you didn't see here? Definitely make sure that you guys put it in the description, in the comment section or something like that, so I can see it. I love you guys so much. Big peace.